Have you ever felt a pull inside your heart like a quiet voice nudging you towards something bigger, something more? Maybe you've been restless, searching for answers, wondering why life feels so scattered, so unpredictable. What if I told you that every twist, every delay, every wrong turn you've ever faced isn't random? That there's a plan, carefully designed, leading you to the place where your gifts, your talents, and your very purpose can truly shine. Today, you're going to discover something that only a few ever truly understand: the subtle, almost invisible ways God moves in your life. The signs you've overlooked, the doors that seemed closed, the opportunities that arrived just at the right moment. These are not coincidences. They are hints of a divine plan, guiding you step by step to where your life was meant to flourish. And by the end of this video, you'll know how to recognize these signs, how to trust the process, and how to step boldly into the purpose you were born to fulfill. Many people go through life chasing success, wealth, or approval, yet they never feel truly fulfilled. They ask, why am I here? What am I meant to do? The truth is, your purpose isn't hidden in some far-off place. It's being quietly nurtured where you are right now. Even the smallest choices, the tiniest moments of courage, are part of a larger plan that's bigger than anything you can imagine. And there's an extraordinary secret few realize. The very struggles you've tried to avoid, the failures you've feared, are the very tools God is using to shape you, refine you, and prepare you for the place where your purpose will thrive. You may think you're behind, or that time is running out, but the reality is far more incredible. You are exactly where you are meant to be. There is a timing to life, a rhythm that most people miss because they are looking for instant results. Yet if you learn to read the subtle signals, if you start noticing the quiet guidance woven through your days, you'll see that every experience, every challenge, and even every heartbreak is nudging you closer to the path that was designed specifically for you. In this video, we're going to explore 4 hidden truths about God's guidance that almost no one talks about. You'll learn how to recognize the signs that you're moving toward your purpose, even when the path feels uncertain. You'll discover why certain doors close just to open even bigger ones later. And you'll uncover the unique ways your talents and experiences are aligned with the place you were meant to reach, often in ways you've never considered before. What if I told you that the very moment you stopped chasing life on your own terms and started paying attention to the subtle nudges of God, you would start seeing opportunities appear that you never thought possible? These are the moments that change everything. Moments when a single choice, a single act of faith, can redirect your life toward abundance, fulfillment, and impact. And here's the part most people miss. These moments are happening for you every single day, even if you haven't recognized them yet. We'll also uncover some lesser-known truths about how purpose unfolds in our lives. For instance, did you know that in the Bible, many great figures didn't reach their purpose until years of waiting, failure, or isolation? These weren't setbacks, they were preparation. Every delay, every closed door, every season of uncertainty was shaping them for the exact place they were meant to stand. And the same principle applies to you. Your journey, your struggles, and even your doubts are part of a divine blueprint, carefully crafted to bring out your full potential. By the end of this video, you'll have a roadmap for identifying your unique purpose, the confidence to trust God's timing, and the insight to see that your current life, your experiences, your talents, and even your setbacks are all leading you to the place where you were meant to thrive. You'll walk away with a sense of clarity, hope, and an unstoppable drive to move forward, even when the path seems unclear. So why should you watch until the end? Because most people give up before they ever understand the signals guiding their life. Most people stop listening to the quiet nudges, ignoring the opportunities, and settling for less than they were created for. But if you stay with me through this video, you'll gain a perspective that few ever experience, an understanding of how God is actively guiding you, shaping your journey, and leading you to a place where your purpose will not just exist but flourish. Welcome to Fuel Forge, where we uncover the spiritual truths and practical steps that help you live a life of purpose, power, and faith. If you want to understand your path, recognize divine guidance, and start moving toward your full potential, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our community. Together we'll explore the signs, the stories, and the strategies that help you see clearly, act boldly, and trust deeply. Remember, the path may not always be easy, and it may not always make sense, but every moment, every decision, every step you take is leading you closer to where your purpose will thrive. And the sooner you learn to recognize the signs, the sooner you can embrace the extraordinary life that's waiting for you. So stay with me, because what you're about to discover isn't just inspiration, it's guidance, it's clarity, and it's a revelation that could change the course of your life forever. A gentle nudge in your heart, a quiet whisper that seemed almost too small to notice, yet impossible to ignore. It might have come when you were standing at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. Or maybe it appeared in the form of a thought that wouldn't leave your mind, a sudden idea, or an unexpected opportunity. These are not coincidences. These are signs, deliberate signals of spiritual guidance, leading you exactly where you are meant to go. God often communicates in ways that are subtle, almost invisible. It's not always a booming voice from the sky. Sometimes his direction is quiet. Sometimes it's gentle. It could come as a feeling of peace that washes over you when you make a decision, even if it seems risky or uncertain. That calm assurance is more than luck. It's a confirmation from God that you're on the right track. And when you learn to recognize these signs, when you start listening carefully, you'll begin to notice a pattern, a rhythm to your life that points you toward your purpose. There are moments when doors open unexpectedly. You might apply for something and get accepted when you least expect it. Or perhaps a relationship or opportunity appears almost magically at the exact time you need it. These doors, these sudden openings, are not random events. They are divine direction, signs from God that your journey is moving forward. Even if you feel unprepared, even if doubts creep in, these openings are evidence that He is orchestrating your path. And it's in these moments of clarity that faith grows stronger, because you see that the world is not as chaotic as it sometimes feels. There is a plan, and you are part of it. God's guidance also comes through people. Sometimes the right mentor, friend, or even a stranger can enter your life at precisely the right moment. Their words, encouragement, or advice can illuminate a path you never saw before. These encounters are rarely accidents. They are part of the divine plan for you, carefully placed to help you move forward. Think about it. How many times has someone said something that completely changed the way you viewed a situation? How many times did a small conversation spark a big decision? That is spiritual guidance at work. And then there's the subtle language of intuition. That inner voice that tells you, yes, this is right, or no, not this way. Too often people dismiss this feeling, calling it coincidence or overthinking. But intuition is often the quiet voice of God speaking through your heart. It's His way of guiding you without forcing your hand. When you pay attention, when you pause long enough to listen, you'll notice that your best decisions often come from these quiet moments of clarity rather than from noise or pressure. Sometimes signs come in repeated patterns. Perhaps you keep encountering the same idea, the same opportunity, or the same message from different places, books, conversations, articles, or even random encounters. These repetitions are not coincidences. They are confirmations, gentle taps on your shoulder from God, saying, pay attention, this is part of your path. Learning to recognize these repeated signs is key to understanding the subtle ways God communicates. The universe has a way of nudging you, not pushing you, letting you see the path gradually, step by step. God's guidance often comes through feelings of alignment. When you are on the right path, even if it challenges you or scares you, there is a sense of rightness that cannot be ignored. Your heart feels lighter, your mind clearer, and your steps more confident. These feelings are signs from God that you are moving toward the purpose He has set for you. And even when the journey is hard, even when obstacles appear, this inner alignment is proof that you are not alone, that divine direction is guiding every step you take. Sometimes His guidance is quiet, almost imperceptible, but always present. A sudden opportunity may appear, and it feels almost like luck, but behind the scenes, God has been orchestrating every detail. The timing is never an accident. The preparation, the people, the moments of waiting, they all have meaning. And when you begin to see this, to trust it, your perspective shifts. You stop seeing setbacks as failures and start recognizing them as preparation for something greater, as part of a divine plan for you. Other times, His direction is unmistakably clear. You may experience a moment of sudden insight, a revelation that changes your perspective completely. It might come as a thought you can't ignore, an opportunity you can't pass up, or a sense of certainty that leaves no room for doubt. These moments are profound. They are not random. They are clear signs from God, guiding you, leading you to the place where your purpose will flourish. Spiritual guidance is also about the unexpected. Often the right path is not the easiest, not the most obvious. It may require courage, faith, and patience. But when you follow the signs, when you trust the subtle nudges of divine direction, you discover doors opening in ways you never imagined. Opportunities appear at exactly the right time, and people who support your purpose enter your life when you need them most. These are not coincidences. They are God's plan unfolding, piece by piece. One of the most fascinating ways God communicates is through timing. There are moments when everything seems to align perfectly, almost miraculously. It may seem like a random event, but when you look closer, you realize that every delay, every obstacle, every unexpected turn was part of a carefully orchestrated plan. You were being prepared for the next step, trained for the challenges ahead, and positioned to thrive in ways you could not have foreseen. Timing is one of the clearest signs of God's guidance. He moves in ways that are invisible but precise, shaping your journey to lead you exactly where you need to be. And sometimes the guidance comes from reflection itself. When you pause, when you quiet your mind and open your heart, you become more aware of the subtle messages that surround you. A quiet moment of prayer, meditation, or contemplation can reveal the path forward in ways that action alone cannot. It's in these moments that God speaks most clearly, through stillness, through awareness, through the realization that every step, no matter how small, is part of a divine plan for you. Recognizing God's guidance is not about waiting for a miracle to happen. It's about noticing the quiet, persistent ways He communicates. The peace that settles in your heart, the doors that open unexpectedly, the people who appear just when you need them, the intuition that nudges you in the right direction, the timing that aligns perfectly. All of these are signs that you are being guided, and when you start to notice them, when you begin to trust them, your journey becomes illuminated. You start seeing the path with clarity. You begin to move with confidence, and every step feels purposeful because it is. No matter where you are right now, whether you feel lost, uncertain, or frustrated, you are not alone. God is guiding you. He is directing your steps, whispering through your heart, opening doors, and aligning your path with your purpose. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's clear. Either way, it is real. And the more you pay attention, the more you will see that every moment, every encounter, every decision is part of a larger divine plan designed specifically for you. Have you ever looked back at your life and wondered why certain things happened the way they did? Why some doors closed? Why some relationships ended? Or why certain opportunities never materialized, no matter how much you hoped? At the time, it might have felt like failure. It might have felt like a detour, or even a dead end. But what if those moments, those twists and turns, were not mistakes? What if every step you took, Every obstacle you faced and every setback you experienced was shaping you for the purpose that God designed just for you. The truth is, life is a journey, not a destination. And your journey is not just a series of random events. It is a carefully orchestrated path, a faith journey designed to mold you, prepare you, and bring you closer to the place where your life's purpose can thrive. Every struggle, every moment of doubt, every time you felt lost, it is all part of the process. And the sooner you understand this, the sooner you will learn to trust God, even when the path seems unclear. Patience is one of the most difficult lessons to learn, yet it is also one of the most important in a world that demands instant results, instant success, and instant recognition. The idea of waiting can feel frustrating, but waiting is never wasted. Waiting is the workshop where God shapes your character, refines your heart, and equips you with the resilience you need for the purpose He has planned for you. Think of it like this. You are a seed. A seed does not sprout overnight. It lies in the soil. It grows roots in the dark, and it waits through storms and harsh seasons. But beneath the surface, life is preparing it to rise and bloom in its perfect season. Your struggles are the soil. Your challenges are the storms, and your patience is the light that allows you to grow. Every detour you encounter, every unexpected turn in your life is not punishment. It is preparation. Perhaps you wanted one career path, one relationship, or one dream to unfold, but life directed you somewhere else. At first, it may have felt like a loss, like a door closing on your hopes. But doors close for a reason. They redirect you to paths that better align with your gifts, your talents, and the ultimate plan for your life purpose. What seems like a setback is often a setup for something far greater than you can imagine. Faith is the bridge that connects your present struggles to your future purpose. Trusting God does not mean that the road will be easy or that you will always understand why things happen. Trusting God means believing that every step, even the painful ones, is moving you closer to where you belong. When you start viewing life through this lens, your setbacks stop feeling like failures. They become lessons, opportunities for spiritual growth, and signposts guiding you along your unique journey. Consider this. Most of the greatest figures in history, the people whose lives inspire generations, did not achieve their purpose without challenges. They faced seasons of waiting, of isolation, of doubt, and of struggle. They endured hardships that could have crushed their spirit, yet they persisted. Why? Because they understood that the journey itself, the waiting, the detours, the struggles, is part of the purpose. Their preparation was in the process, and the lessons learned along the way equipped them to fulfill their calling with wisdom, strength, and clarity. Your life works the same way. Every moment of uncertainty, every time you feel like giving up, is a lesson in faith. Every obstacle you overcome builds resilience, patience, and courage. The journey is the classroom, and the challenges are the teachers. Spiritual growth comes not from the easy moments, but from the trials that test your faith, refine your character, and deepen your trust in God. When you see your journey this way, even the most difficult experiences become valuable. Every setback is moving you closer to the place where you can thrive, where your purpose is waiting. It's easy to look at others and compare your journey to theirs. You might see someone achieving success faster, finding clarity sooner, or experiencing joy more quickly. But comparison is a trap. Your journey is unique. Your timing is unique. The detours, the struggles, and the waiting periods you face are tailored specifically for you. They are shaping you in ways no one else can be shaped. What feels like a delay is often divine timing, ensuring that you arrive at your purpose, fully prepared and ready to thrive. Think of it like a river carving its way through a mountain. The river does not rush to its destination. It moves carefully, sometimes slowing, sometimes changing course, sometimes hitting obstacles that force it to redirect. Yet, over time, the river finds its way to the sea. The path is not straight, but the river reaches its destination, shaped perfectly by every curve and every rock it encountered. Your journey is similar. Every challenge, every detour, every hardship is shaping your character, preparing your heart, and refining your purpose. And the beauty of this process is that it builds depth. Purpose without preparation is fragile. Strength without struggle is shallow. When you endure, when you persevere, when you learn to trust God in the waiting, you emerge stronger, wiser, and ready to embrace the full measure of your calling. The journey transforms you in ways that immediate success cannot. It equips you to handle your purpose with grace, humility, and impact. Every step matters, even the ones that feel insignificant. Even moments that feel like setbacks are moving you closer to where you belong. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every closed door is a nudge from God, guiding you, teaching you, and preparing you for something far greater than you could achieve on your own. Your faith journey is not a straight line. It is a tapestry woven with every experience, every challenge, every lesson, and every victory. And when you start seeing your life this way, you begin to trust the process, even when it is difficult, confusing, or painful. Trusting God means embracing uncertainty with faith. It means believing that there is a bigger picture, even when you cannot see it. It means understanding that life's detours are not distractions, they are directions. When you learn to walk with patience, to endure challenges with hope, and to see setbacks as preparation, you start moving through life with a sense of purpose and clarity. Spiritual growth happens not when the path is easy, but when you persevere despite the obstacles. Sometimes the journey requires courage you didn't know you had. You may face moments that test every fiber of your being, decisions that seem impossible, challenges that feel overwhelming, and fears that threaten to paralyze you. But these moments are the crucible where your purpose is forged. Every time you rise, every time you take a step forward despite fear, you are building the strength and wisdom necessary to fulfill your calling. These are the moments that transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. The journey is also about learning to see God's fingerprints in every experience. It is about recognizing that nothing in your life is wasted, that every struggle, every detour, every delay is part of a divine blueprint designed uniquely for you. When you start viewing your life this way, your perspective shifts. You stop seeing obstacles as hindrances and start seeing them as opportunities. You stop fearing setbacks and start trusting the process. And as your faith deepens, you begin to notice that every step, even the hardest ones, are moving you closer to your life purpose. Every struggle has a lesson. Every detour has meaning. Every moment of waiting has a reason. And when you embrace this truth, when you trust God and lean into the journey, you begin to grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. You start to understand that the process itself is part of the purpose, that your struggles are shaping you to thrive, that your patience, your perseverance, and your faith are being refined, preparing you to embrace the place where you are meant to shine. So as you move through life, remember this: your journey is not a series of random events. It is a carefully designed process, a faith journey meant to prepare you for your purpose. Every challenge, every delay, every detour is shaping you. Every step, even setbacks, is moving you closer to where you belong. Trust God. Embrace the process and keep walking with faith, knowing that your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Why certain things feel effortless, why some activities make your heart race with excitement, or why some tasks feel like they were made for you. These feelings are not random. They are clues, hints that point toward your God-given gifts. Your talents, your passions, and your strengths are not merely tools for personal gain. They are signposts to your calling, a roadmap showing you where your purpose and God's plan intersect. Discovering your calling begins with awareness. It begins by paying attention to what ignites your spirit, what fills you with energy even when it's challenging, and what makes time feel irrelevant. These are the areas where God has planted seeds, talents that are meant to grow into something meaningful. Perhaps you have a gift for teaching, creating, leading, comforting, or inspiring. Perhaps your passion lies in service, art, innovation, or problem solving. Whatever it is, these talents are not accidental. They are a part of God's purpose for your life. God does not intend for your gifts to remain hidden. He will place you in situations where your skills, your heart, and your unique abilities align with His plan. Think of it like a puzzle. Each piece of your personality, every talent you possess, every interest you pursue is designed to fit perfectly into a larger picture. And when the pieces come together, when your passions align with His guidance, you will experience a sense of fulfillment that is impossible to achieve through effort alone. This is spiritual fulfillment, the feeling that you are not just existing but thriving, that your life has meaning beyond the everyday routine. The process of alignment often requires reflection and honesty. Ask yourself, what do I love doing, even when no one is watching? What comes naturally to me that others struggle to do? What skills have I developed over time, whether through work, study, or life experience? These questions are not just exercises, they are the key to unlocking the path where your purpose meets your abilities. When you begin to answer them honestly, you start discovering your calling in a way that is both profound and practical. Alignment also requires courage. It's not enough to simply recognize your gifts. You must be willing to step into the spaces where they can flourish. God may guide you toward challenges that stretch your abilities, test your faith, and push you beyond your comfort zone. These moments are opportunities, invitations to serve, create, and thrive in the place He leads you. They are the spaces where your natural talents meet divine purpose, where your passions are transformed into impact, and where your skills contribute to something greater than yourself. Sometimes people resist alignment because it requires action. They see their gifts but hesitate to use them, waiting for the perfect time or fearing failure. But God's guidance often comes in the form of invitation, not force. You are given opportunities to act, to step forward, and to trust that your abilities are enough for the tasks ahead. Every moment you delay is a moment you could have used to grow, to serve, and to make a difference. Being ready means preparing your heart, honing your skills, and being willing to move when the doors open. Your talents are also a reflection of your purpose. They are meant to serve others, to create value, and to bring light into the world. When you align your gifts with your calling, you are no longer just pursuing personal success. You are fulfilling God's purpose in a tangible, impactful way. Your work becomes meaningful, your efforts become inspired, and your journey becomes a testimony of faith and dedication. Spiritual fulfillment comes not from recognition or reward alone, but from living a life that honors the gifts you have been given and using them to make a difference where God leads you. Notice the connection between passion and purpose. Your heart's deepest desires often mirror God's plan. The things that excite you, that draw you out of yourself, and that challenge you to grow are the areas where your calling is waiting. It is in these spaces where your joy meets opportunity, where your creativity meets need, where your skills meet divine direction, that true alignment occurs. And when alignment happens, life begins to flow with clarity. Decisions become easier, paths become clearer, and every step forward feels guided, intentional, and meaningful. Alignment is not static, it is a process. Your skills evolve, your passions deepen, and God's guidance unfolds in stages. You may start small, using your gifts in humble ways, in moments that seem insignificant. But these moments are training grounds. They prepare you to handle larger responsibilities, greater impact, and deeper purpose. By taking small steps, practicing your talents, and trusting God's direction, you gradually discover the full extent of your calling and the place where your abilities and purpose intersect. Faith is essential in this process. Trusting God means believing that your gifts are sufficient, that your passions are not coincidental, and that your abilities have been placed in your life for a reason. Even when the path is unclear or opportunities seem limited, trust that He is guiding you toward the spaces where your skills and heart align perfectly with His plan. Every challenge you face, every skill you refine, and every opportunity you embrace is part of a larger design, shaping you for a purpose only you can fulfill. Spiritual fulfillment comes when alignment meets action. Recognizing your talents is only the first step. Using them faithfully is what brings meaning. Be ready to serve where needed. Be ready to create where inspired. Be ready to thrive where God places you. Your gifts are not meant to sit idle. They are meant to illuminate, to contribute, and to reflect the divine purpose embedded in your life. When you act with intention, you begin living not just for yourself, but as part of a greater plan, bringing impact, joy, and fulfillment into every space you touch. Sometimes alignment requires sacrifice. You may have to let go of what is comfortable, what is familiar, or what is easy, but these sacrifices are not losses. They are investments in your purpose. God's guidance often leads us toward paths that challenge our limitations, stretch our faith, and teach us resilience. In these moments, your talents become tools, your passions become fuel, and your actions become testimony. You discover that the alignment between your gifts and your calling is not just a destination, it is a way of living, a daily practice of faith, trust, and purpose. The journey to alignment is also deeply personal. Your calling is unique. Your combination of talents, experiences, and passions cannot be replicated. This is why comparing your path to others is never helpful. Your skills, your heart, and your abilities were designed for a specific place, a specific purpose. God's plan for you is unlike anyone else's. The sooner you embrace this truth, the sooner you can focus on developing your gifts, stepping into your calling, and thriving in the spaces where your life intersects perfectly with divine guidance. When you align your gifts with your calling, life begins to feel different. Decisions that once seemed confusing now make sense. Opportunities that once appeared random now feel like pieces of a puzzle falling into place. You begin to see your purpose unfold in real time, and your faith grows stronger because you are acting in harmony with God's plan. Your talents are no longer just abilities. They become instruments of spiritual fulfillment, conduits through which you can make a lasting impact on the world. And remember, alignment is ongoing. As you grow, your talents will deepen, your passions will expand, and God will continue to place you in new spaces where your gifts can thrive. It is not a one-time discovery. It is a lifetime process of refinement, practice, and trust. With every step, you move closer to the fullness of your purpose, guided by God's hand, empowered by your abilities, and inspired by the vision He has planted in your heart. So take the time to notice your gifts, reflect on your passions, identify the strengths that make you uniquely you, and then step forward with courage, knowing that God will place you where your skills and heart align perfectly with His plan. Be ready to serve, ready to create, and ready to thrive. Because when alignment happens, when your talents meet your calling, you will experience a depth of spiritual fulfillment that is both powerful and transformative. A life lived in harmony with purpose, meaning, and divine guidance. Fear, doubt, uncertainty. These are feelings every person encounters at some point, no matter how strong their faith or how clear their purpose seems. You may feel it when standing at the edge of a new opportunity, staring down a path that requires courage. You may feel it when life doesn't move as fast as you hoped, when doors seem closed, or when waiting feels endless. Fear is natural. Doubt is inevitable. They are not your enemies. They are signals, moments meant to test your faith, deepen your courage, and refine the strength of your spirit. Fear often shows up as hesitation. It whispers, "What if you fail?" or "What if this isn't the right path?" You may feel paralyzed, unsure whether to move forward or retreat. But the key to overcoming fear is not to ignore it. It's to face it with trust. Fear is natural, but faith moves mountains. When you step forward, even trembling, even uncertain, you are saying yes to God's guidance. You are trusting that He is shaping your journey, one step at a time, and that every challenge has a purpose beyond what your eyes can see. Doubt is another companion that walks alongside fear. It sneaks in quietly, questioning your worth, your abilities, and your timing. You might think, am I ready for this? Or am I capable of fulfilling my purpose? These thoughts can feel overwhelming, but they are also opportunities. Doubt forces you to rely on God, to remember that your path is not solely dependent on your own strength or understanding. Divine timing is rarely immediate. God often asks you to trust Him before the results appear, to take the next step even when the outcome is hidden, and to continue moving forward with patience and faith. One of the most common fears is the fear of failure. Many people stop short of pursuing their purpose because they are afraid of making mistakes, of falling short, or of not meeting expectations. But failure is not the opposite of faith. It is a teacher, a guide, and a stepping stone. Each misstep, each setback is part of the journey. Step by step, God is shaping your journey, molding your character, and preparing you for the greater purpose ahead. What feels like a failure in the moment may be the exact lesson you need to succeed in the long run. Waiting is another challenge that breeds fear and doubt. When life seems slow, when opportunities are delayed, or when answers are not immediately clear, it is easy to lose hope. But waiting is not wasted time. It is a season of preparation, a time when God is quietly arranging circumstances, opening doors, and teaching patience. Trust that the waiting has meaning. Trust that the delay is part of divine timing, orchestrated to ensure that when you move forward, you move at exactly the right moment, with everything aligned perfectly. Spiritual encouragement comes from recognizing that fear and doubt are temporary, while God's guidance is eternal. You do not have to overcome these feelings alone. Prayer, reflection, and trust are tools that allow you to navigate uncertainty with confidence. Even in moments of intense fear, you can remind yourself faith over fear. When faith becomes stronger than doubt, when belief in God's plan outweighs your worries, mountains can move. Barriers that once seemed impossible begin to crumble, and the path forward becomes clearer. Courage is cultivated in small steps. It does not appear all at once. You do not become fearless overnight. But each time you confront fear, each time you push past doubt, you build resilience. You train your spirit to trust that God is with you, that His guidance is active, and that every challenge is part of the preparation for your purpose. Persistence is not about ignoring fear. It is about continuing despite it, taking one step after another, and believing that even when you cannot see the end, the path is leading you exactly where you need to go. Think about those who have faced overwhelming fear, yet achieved extraordinary outcomes. They were not immune to doubt. They were not fearless. But they chose to act despite their fears. They understood that the presence of fear does not disqualify you from your purpose. It qualifies you to trust more deeply, to grow stronger, and to rely on God more fully. In the same way, every challenge you face, every moment of hesitation, and every doubt-filled thought is an opportunity to strengthen your faith and embrace the journey God has set before you. Sometimes fear is about the unknown, about uncertainty and risk. You may worry about making the wrong choice, about stepping into unfamiliar territory, or about leaving comfort behind. But uncertainty is where growth happens. Divine timing often requires stepping into the unknown, trusting that God has prepared the way even if you cannot see it yet. The unknown is not a threat. It is the space where faith expands, where your calling emerges, and where spiritual growth deepens. Every time you embrace uncertainty with courage, you are proving to yourself and to God that you are ready for the next phase of your journey. Overcoming doubt also involves perspective. Fear makes things seem larger than they are, problems seem insurmountable, and challenges seem permanent. But when you shift your perspective to faith, to trust in God's purpose, you begin to see that obstacles are temporary, lessons are valuable, and guidance is constant. Step by step, God is shaping your journey. Even when the road feels difficult, even when progress seems slow, every effort, every decision, every act of faith is moving you closer to the place where your gifts, your calling, and your purpose can thrive. Remember that persistence is not passive, it is active. It is the decision to keep moving forward, to keep believing, and to keep trusting, even when fear and doubt are loud. It is the commitment to honor the journey, to embrace the lessons, and to allow challenges to refine your character. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a victory over fear. Each time you choose faith over hesitation, each time you act despite doubt, you are participating in the unfolding of God's plan for you. Spiritual encouragement comes from knowing that you are not alone in facing fear and doubt. Others have walked this path before you, and countless stories throughout history show that those who persevere through fear achieve extraordinary outcomes. Their courage was not born from the absence of fear, but from faith, trust, and persistence. You too can harness the same power, trusting that God is directing your steps, guiding your decisions, and equipping you with the strength to overcome. Faith over fear is more than a phrase. It is a lifestyle. It is a choice you make every day to believe in God's plan, to trust His timing, and to act even when the path seems uncertain. It is a mindset that transforms fear from a roadblock into a guidepost, doubt into motivation, and waiting into preparation. When you live with faith over fear, you begin to see challenges as opportunities, obstacles as lessons, and uncertainty as a chance to grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. So whenever fear or doubt arise, fear is natural, but it does not define you. Doubt is inevitable, but it is not permanent. Step by step, God is shaping your journey. Every hesitation, every worry, every challenge is part of the preparation for the purpose He has placed in your life. Your faith is stronger than your fear. Your trust in God is greater than your doubt, and your persistence will carry you forward, even when the road is uncertain. Every step you take in courage is a victory. Every moment you choose faith over fear is progress. And every time you trust God's timing, even when it feels delayed, you align yourself with the path He has designed for you. You may not see the entire journey, but you can trust that every step is purposeful, every challenge is meaningful, and every act of faith brings you closer to the place where your calling, your gifts, and your purpose can thrive. Have you ever noticed those moments when life seems to whisper rather than shout? When small things begin to align, and suddenly even the tiniest victories feel significant? These are not coincidences. They are God's guidance signs, subtle nudges that confirm you are moving in the right direction. Sometimes it's a small win, a project completed, a goal achieved, a step forward that might seem minor to the world, but monumental to your soul. These wins are God's way of saying, you are on the path I have designed for you. Keep going. Inner peace is another sign. When you are moving toward your purpose, there is a sense of calm, even amid uncertainty. Decisions that once felt impossible begin to make sense. Your heart feels lighter, your mind clearer, and your spirit steadier. This peace is not the absence of challenges. It is the presence of God's guidance in your life. When you feel this quiet assurance, it is a confirmation that your journey is aligned with your calling. Life purpose clarity begins to emerge, not as a distant goal, but as a lived experience, unfolding step by step in divine timing. Doors begin to open in ways that feel almost miraculous. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach suddenly appear, often when you least expect them. You may meet people who guide you, encounter projects that match your talents, or experience moments that feel like perfect timing. These openings are not random. They are orchestrated by God, a reflection of His divine timing, and an affirmation that you are on the path He has prepared. When you notice these doors, pay attention. They are more than chance. They are alignment with your life purpose, guiding you towards spiritual growth and fulfillment. Sometimes the signs are even simpler, quieter, and more personal. Perhaps it's a sense of clarity after a period of confusion, or a sudden insight that illuminates your next step. Maybe it's a feeling of contentment and purpose as you engage in work or service that resonates deeply with your values. These moments of insight, peace, and alignment are all signals from God, gently guiding you, reinforcing that your talents, passions, and efforts are moving in harmony with the plan He has for your life. Life purpose clarity often comes when small victories and opportunities accumulate. It may not be dramatic at first. You may not feel a sudden surge of confirmation, but over time these signs compound. Projects succeed, relationships deepen, skills develop, and doors continue to open. The repetition of these confirmations is God's way of affirming that your journey is progressing according to His design. Spiritual growth happens gradually, quietly, and steadily, like a river carving its way through rock, persistent, patient, and powerful. If you feel peace, clarity, and growth, you are on the right path. These feelings are not fleeting. They are indicators that your actions, decisions, and faith are aligned with the divine blueprint of your life. Even when challenges arise, even when the path seems difficult, the underlying current of purpose remains. The presence of inner peace, the occurrence of small wins, and the alignment of opportunities with your values are unmistakable signs that God's guidance is at work. Opportunities aligned with your values are particularly significant. When your work, service, and efforts resonate with what you care about most, you know you are not moving randomly. You are moving in sync with your calling. This alignment is confirmation that your talents are being used meaningfully, that your passions are being expressed authentically, and that your actions are producing spiritual fulfillment. When you notice this alignment, it is a signal that your life is unfolding in accordance with God's purpose, and that you are stepping fully into the role He has prepared for you. Growth, both spiritual and personal, is another essential sign. As you walk your path, you will notice changes in your perspective, your character, and your faith. Challenges that once felt overwhelming begin to strengthen you. Patience, wisdom, and resilience develop naturally as you navigate the steps of your journey. These transformations are not accidental. They are evidence that your experiences are shaping you, preparing you, and confirming that you are progressing toward your true purpose. Each lesson learned, each moment of reflection, and each act of faith is a confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. Sometimes these signs appear in the people around you. Mentors, friends, and even strangers may enter your life at just the right moment, offering guidance, encouragement, or opportunities that help you move forward. These connections are rarely random. They are part of God's guidance, arranged in divine timing to support your growth and guide you toward the places where your purpose can thrive. Paying attention to these relationships and valuing the lessons and opportunities they bring is a way to recognize the signs that your path is unfolding as intended. Even small moments of joy, satisfaction, or accomplishment are signs. When you feel a sense of fulfillment, when your efforts produce tangible results, or when you notice that your work aligns with your deepest values, these are confirmations. They are evidence that you are walking in alignment with God's purpose, that your journey is meaningful, and that the steps you are taking, however small, are leading you to the place where your life can thrive. These signs may be subtle, but when you learn to recognize them, they become powerful indicators of direction, encouragement, and faith in action. Pay attention to the consistency of these signs. God's guidance is rarely fleeting. It persists, gently but firmly, through moments of doubt, hesitation, and uncertainty. When you notice repeated confirmations, doors opening, small wins, opportunities aligning with your values, peace in your heart, you are witnessing divine guidance at work. These patterns are evidence that your life is unfolding in accordance with God's plan, that your purpose is becoming clearer, and that your journey is moving forward in the perfect timing. The more you recognize these signs, the more confident you become in your path. You begin to trust the process, embrace the journey, and act with intention. You no longer move blindly or uncertainly. Instead, you step forward with clarity, guided by subtle confirmations and reassured by God's presence. Spiritual growth accelerates when you become attentive to these signs, allowing them to guide your decisions, inspire your actions, and strengthen your faith. Remember, signs of progress are not always dramatic or overwhelming. They can be quiet, gentle, and subtle. A sense of inner peace, a small victory, an opportunity aligned with your values, a moment of clarity. These are God's way of communicating with you, confirming that your life is on track and guiding you toward the places where your talents, passions, and purpose intersect. When you learn to notice them, you gain confidence, clarity, and reassurance that your steps are aligned with His plan. Even when life presents challenges or delays, the signs remain. They appear as moments of insight, growth, or alignment that reassure you that the path is true. Divine timing ensures that these confirmations occur at the right moments, giving you the courage to continue, the wisdom to act, and the faith to trust. When you are attuned to these subtle signals, you can navigate uncertainty with confidence, knowing that God's guidance is constant and that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. As we reach the close of this journey together, trust His guidance. Every step you've taken, every challenge you've faced, every moment of waiting, your purpose is unfolding exactly as it should. God is at work, moving in ways you may not yet see, shaping your path and preparing you for the place where your gifts, talents, and heart align perfectly with His plan. Pause for a moment. Reflect, pray, listen. The quiet nudges, the small wins, the moments of clarity, they are all messages from God, guiding you along your spiritual journey. Trust that each experience, each detour, and each blessing is part of a divine plan crafted uniquely for you. Your life purpose is not distant. It is emerging step by step, and God is leading you to the place where you will thrive. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Fuel Forge. Join our community as we explore guidance from God, spiritual growth, and the steps to living a life filled with purpose, faith, and clarity. Stay connected, stay inspired, and let every moment of your journey be a testament to trust, hope, and the unfolding of your divine plan.